in my living room. I had a massive cardiac arrest. I was working regularly. I had the cardiac arrest. As God would have it, my wife was in the house. If she'd left on time, I would have died
Oh my
in the
goodness.
house. My kids had to be ushered out to the
Out.
next door neighbors because they thought they saw their dad shocked 10 times. God's amazing. With each shock, the chances of survival diminishes, but they didn't give up.
Wow.
Shocked 10 times. So now they could see that the heart was now beating. Brain activity was somewhat there. So I was put in an induced coma. The plan was to put me in an induced coma for 3 days. I was
Yeah.
in a coma for 4 weeks. The doctors came to my wife and told her, have you thought of life after your husband's passed on? Because
Oh,
chances are he's not going to make it. The survival
wow.
rate of an out of hospital cardiac arrest is less than 1 in 10. And even if you do survive, the quality of life is diminished.
Welcome to the Your Forever Money podcast, where we help you live a fulfilling, purpose-living life so you can optimize your income regardless of where you live in the world. Hello and welcome to the podcast. Today we've got a very interesting guest, one whose story has been chronicled in no other paper than the British Financial Times. My guest had a very close near-death experience, and that completely changed his life, as you can imagine. So join me in welcoming Bolaji to the call. Good afternoon, Bolaji, because I believe it's afternoon now in where you live. So we're very, very happy you could make the call. One of the things I love to do when we open up the podcast is for my guests to learn about you. So can you tell us a little bit about yourself? Where did you grow up, for example?
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me on this platform, Wanji. So yeah, I've been on a few podcasts already, but this is the first time I'm broadcasting to the US. Yes,
Great,
I'm a 50-something-year-old man.
great, great, great.
Father of three lovely kids, husband to the most amazing woman on the planet.
Fantastic. You're a smart man.
Yep. Based in East London, I've got strong connections in the States. So got family in New Orleans, New Jersey,
Great.
Philadelphia, and yeah. Thank you for having me here.
Good.
Yep, as you can see on my t-shirts, they call me the Black Lazarus. We'll
Fantastic.
dig into that in
Fantastic.
more detail as we carry on with this conversation.
I can't wait to get to that part. So did you grow up in London?
No, I was born in Lagos, Nigeria in
Uh-huh.
1975.
Uh-huh.
We moved to London in 1988. So
I
basically,
see.
Dad passed away sadly in 84, and
Oh, sorry to hear.
Nigeria was going through some challenges, and
Yes.
my mom was expecting the fourth child, and she took a
Wow.
leap of faith to bring us to the UK.
Yes.
Told us we were coming on a holiday. And when we got here, she said, we're not going, but you're staying
Wow.
here. It was
Interesting.
best decision she ever made. Yeah.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Wow. Wow. Out of tragedy came a very good decision. I'm
Yeah.
really glad to hear.
Yeah.
And so you went to university, obviously, in the UK. What did you study?
So, yes, I studied mechanical engineering in the University of Leicester.
Okay, so that's like me. I studied mechanical engineering, not in Leicester, but
I made it through the degree. I wasn't an excellent engineer. I took a year out just to try and find my way, and
yeah,
in all the modules that I'd done, the one that I seemed to enjoy the most was computer science. So I
I
took a
see.
leap of faith, did my master's in computer science in Bristol University.
Okay.
So I took a conversion course, just a
Oh,
1 year
wow.
intense course.
Yeah.
And that's where I met my darling wife, who was my best friend at the time.
Good.
Now she's still my best friend.
Excellent. That's the way to do it. Good. No, that's very, very interesting. I have played around with computers would be the best way I would put it. I've worked in um one or two computer jobs. I really like it, but I don't know that I'm good enough at it. So let's just say I do other things. I like programming though, like
Mm.
programming in C, C++. I mean, that was good, but again, I
Oh,
don't know
C++.
that I'm good in it at
Wow.
all.
Okay. Ringing
Yes.
some bells there.
Exactly. You would understand that. So I know you had a near-death experience that landed you in the Financial Times, right? Can you talk about what happened that got you into the Financial Times so our guests may get to know your story as well?
Yeah, fantastic question. So, as I said, I did computer science in Bristol University, and that led to moving towards the IT side of things,
Yeah,
financial risks, all that kind of stuff. So I worked with for a few investment banks for about 20 something years. But
good.
in the middle of all that, I was conscious of the fact that when dad died,
Yes,
the
yes,
quality of life changed dramatically.
I can imagine.
Dad meant well. He was really, really good, but I think he couldn't have foreseen. He was young. He was only 34.
Oh my.
Yeah, so he
Wow.
was a passenger in a car, and he was the only one who died, and we still don't know why. But all that is to say that
Wow.
I was always conscious of maintaining some sort of insurance protection
Yes.
for my wife and kids. So I always had the insurance in place, direct debits, and 4 years ago in my living room, I had a massive cardiac arrest. So
Wow.
the cardiac arrest it means that your heart's had a malfunction.
Yes.
It can sometimes be triggered by stress. It can be by genetic, or it can
Sure.
be just bad luck.
Yeah.
It can happen to anyone. I was working regularly. I had the cardiac arrest. As God would have it, my wife was in the house.
Yes.
She was running late.
Uh-huh.
If she'd left on time, I would have died
Oh my
in the
goodness.
house.
Oh my goodness.
She called the ambulance, called 999. I don't know what it is in the US. Is it 911?
It's 911, but same thing, yeah.
911.
Yeah.
She called 999, and she had to learn how to do the CPR on me on the spot. So,
Wow.
listeners, if you don't know how to do CPR, it's very simple. Just Google it.
Good.
It is,
No, good, very good health tip. Thank you.
yeah, CPR. So she had to do the CPR on my chest. I, I was out. Um, the paramedics came over, and then
Yeah.
they took over the CPR.
Wow.
Then I was, defibrillated in my house. So, when they say all clear, shock.
Yes.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
my kids had to be ushered out to the
Out.
next door neighbors because they thought they saw their dad die.
Wow.
So shocked 10 times,
10 times.
10 times, yeah. God's amazing. With each shock, the chances of survival diminishes, but they didn't give up.
Wow.
Um, Shocked 10 times. So now they could see that the heart was now beating.
Uh-huh.
Brain activity was somewhat there. So I was put in an induced coma. The plan was to put me in an induced coma for 3 days. I was
Yeah.
in a coma for 4 weeks.
4
Uh,
weeks.
I mean, there's a book coming at some point. My wife keeps promising me this whole book.
Yeah, you guys need a book.
Need a book. And the doctors came to my wife and told her, have you thought of life after your husband's passed on? Because
Oh,
chances are he's not going to make it. The survival rate
Wow.
of an out of hospital cardiac arrest is less than 1 in 10. And even if you do survive, the quality of life is diminished because
I had no idea it was that low.
yeah,
Wow.
it is bad. That's why sometimes you see people in the UK, and I think you may have seen it in the States with some basketballers, they suddenly drop.
Yes.
The cardiac arrest has happened, and if you don't have defibrillators in public
Yes.
spaces, that's why I'm really adamant about them. People pass away
Sure.
suddenly, but
Yeah.
yeah. So all that happened, and my brother reminded me that you do know you got this thing called critical illness cover. I had no idea I was paying this thing. Didn't have
Oh,
a
wow.
clue. It taken me weeks to recognize who he was, my wife's name, my kids. So there was some gaps.
Oh, so
Um,
was that because maybe you lost some brain activity in the middle of the cardiac arrest?
Correct. Yes. So when a cardiac arrest happens, it means that your heart's beating so quickly that there's not enough time to take the oxygenated blood from your heart into your brain. So when
Wow.
it's beating so quick, so it can't get to the brain. So with me, there was 11 seconds lack of oxygenated blood to my brain. So there was some brain trauma. Um,
Wow.
so yeah, so those gaps slowly started coming back in. There's still some memory losses there.
Okay. Okay.
Uh, yeah, I'll just say with anyone
Mm-hmm.
in a bad way in a hospital, don't give up hope. Yeah,
Thank you.
because
Thank you.
the doctors, they still don't have all the answers to what caused the cardiac arrest. They
Sure.
still don't have a full understanding of how the brain works.
Yes.
Yeah.
So interesting. So you were in an induced coma for 4 weeks,
Yes.
and then you got out of the coma. Is that correct?
Yes. So I came out of the coma. Even in the coma, I was having hallucinations, dreams,
Oh,
because the brain was trying to take
interesting.
pieces together. So there were bits of, and when I came to, I would ask, who's taking the minutes? And can I have some water? Because then I was like, okay, the corporate side of me was manifesting itself sometimes. Other
Yes.
times
Yeah.
I would be shouting, oh, I'm in Piccadilly Circus, because I thought I was in the city,
Yes.
but it
Yes.
was cold
Yes.
and no one's giving me my winter coat. So,
Got it. Got it.
so, the jigsaw was trying to come to pieces. So then,
Wow.
um, so if someone is in induced coma, you got to play music.
I see.
There's
I
some,
see.
um, gospel songs that I remember vaguely. I asked
Uh-huh.
my wife, "Oh, was that played in the hospital?" She said, "Yeah, we played it all the time."
Oh my
So
goodness.
subconsciously,
Yes.
and sometimes they give me trauma when I remember some of those songs. Yeah.
I
So
can imagine
yeah,
because of where you were and what
yeah,
was going on at the
yeah,
time.
yeah,
Interesting. So you get out of the coma.
yeah,
You realize you've got some amount of memory loss.
yeah,
Your brother, it took you a while, I guess, for you to figure out who
yeah.
he was and remember names. I guess, was it more names you couldn't remember, but you knew who the people were? How did that work for him and the rest of your family?
It was mainly names. There was a brochure with a catalog of, this is your wife, these are your kids, this is your
Oh,
auntie. Those things didn't mean anything to me. There was just one day I looked at the card. I was like, oh, that's from my friend Rushmi. She sent me a card. So now pieces were coming together.
God, great,
Yeah,
great, great, great. So now, what was the recovery process like? Because obviously you were going to be out of work
fantastic
for a long
question.
time. There's some type of physical impact I can imagine. Walk us through that. So now you're out of the coma. When did you
Yeah,
get out of the hospital? And what was your recovery like? Walk us through the recovery path to you probably getting back to work.
really, really good question. Really good question. So I was in 3 different hospitals for 5 months.
Oh my goodness.
So from September 11, 2021 till February 11th, 2022. I spent the first few weeks in St. Bart's Hospital. It's a well-renowned cardio
Sure.
hospital.
Yeah.
The second part was they knew they needed me to send me to a neuro center, but there was no
Yes.
space. So I was
Oh,
in a holding step in
sure.
between. Then eventually I was sent to a neuro rehab hospital.
Yeah.
Um, even then, even though I could walk and talk again,
Sure.
I needed to relearn my IT skills. I needed to
Wow.
learn how
Wow.
to go to the corner shop or the grocery
Yes.
store and
Oh
come
my
back by
goodness.
myself.
Oh my goodness.
Be more, because now your brain is now not used to being outside noises, outside people. So,
Oh my goodness.
um, and then this thing called neuroplasticity.
Yes.
Yeah. In terms of rehab and recovery, the recovery is only as strong as your faith and your inner courage.
Oh my good.
Because
Wow.
in the hospital, the first thing they would say was Mr. Mobile, Mr. Mobile. My full name is Bolaji. They would
Yeah.
say, Mr. Mobile, Mr. Mobile, you're in the hospital. I was like, I didn't quite understand. All I knew was like, where's my wife?
Yes.
Where's my lawyer? And
Yes.
where's my money?
Yeah.
As I said, I'm Nigerian. So my first primary instinct was that I've got to provide for my wife and kids.
Yes. Yes.
I I didn't know where that the insurance was in place. In my brain, I was still an independent contractor with no buffer. I so I all that was not there. So I was really determined, okay, rehab to learn how to walk again, I'm there. The the universal healthcare in the
Yes.
UK gets a bad rep,
Mm-hmm.
but it's there.
It's there. It's there. It's
It's
there.
there. It saved my life.
Sure.
So that's where
Sure.
they shine. When it comes to getting a guy back on the feet, then not so quick. So then I had to take my own initiative to ask my family for multiplication books.
Oh my
Count
goodness.
1 to 10, 1 to 20.
This is unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, at that age, because now you're in your high 40s and you're learning to count and multiply all over again. This is a very, 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 very interesting story. I've got to ask a question because
Yeah.
obviously you've come a long way. What do you credit your comeback to, right? From a cardiac arrest, doctors giving up on you, having to be shocked 10 times, right, before you could even be stable enough to be put into an ambulance and then taken to a hospital. I mean, you've come from a long way. What do you credit that comeback to?
Multiple bits to that question. The first part is number one, Jesus Christ.
Great.
Because it became crystal clear to me that
Yeah.
God is not done with me. It
Fantastic.
was clear. Because in
Yeah.
the hospital, there was another gentleman who'd had a cardiac arrest around the same age as me,
Yes.
but he's had been triggered by a crack cocaine overdose.
Yeah.
And afterwards, he was dejected. He was barely looked after. So he reminded me of myself months ago when I couldn't dress myself, that kind
Yes.
of stuff. Uh, it was tough. And I had those moments where it was like,
Yes.
and I'm home alone. I'm all alone here by myself. But that's opportunity. And then Wano and the kids,
Yeah.
and then knowing that there was, I didn't know this at the time, there was a prayer chain around the world. So from the
Great.
guys, one of my closest friends,
Yes.
two of my closest friends, they're both godparents to my two eldest kids.
Yes.
One in New Orleans, one in New Jersey. The guy in New Jersey grew up in Brooklyn. There's a church in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
The fellowship there were fasting and praying for me. The mother is
Wow.
in her 90s. She was joining the calls from Florida. So
Wow.
that whole prayer chain, how is Jesus not going to step in?
Thanks for listening to this podcast. Please remember to hit subscribe on YouTube or whatever platform you use so you can get new episodes as soon as they're published. Great, great. So miracle,
Yeah.
clearly God's hand stepped in and pulled you out of this. Really, really interesting. You first of all, I'll say so far in the interview, I've picked up a lot of medical knowledge because I did not know much about cardiac arrests and the impact on the brain. But maybe even more importantly, this story of faith and faith basically pulling you from an impossible situation in normal human terms and getting you back to where you are today.
I'll
So
just add to that as
yes,
well, is that as well as one who's standing up to the doctors, there
yeah,
were
one
one
is your wife. Yes, great.
yeah, sorry, my wife. There was once one of the occupational therapists who was supposed to helping me, she said, "Oh, your brain trauma is whatever. You're not gonna recover." As God would
Wow.
have it, she'd been put on holiday, so somebody else stepped in, and she was a speech therapist, and she said, "Well, I'm not a psychologist, but I can see from our conversations, you are in you're at a whole different level to what I've seen." So she was so supportive. So when that happens, there's no point asking for validation from someone else. So I went to the other lady and she gave the most pessimistic, and then I had to check. I said, no, 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 no. I'm
Yes.
here when the doctor said, I'm not going to be here. I'm going to fully recover because I believe in Jesus Christ is the Son of God and He healed me. So I reject
Amen.
anything you're telling me
Amen.
right now. So it was a very strong
Amen.
rebuke. Yeah.
No, fantastic. I am so happy that your faith pulled you through because certainly you were in a situation where you had survived, but your quality of life would have been
Yeah.
horrible and obviously would have had a huge impact on your family. So really, really fantastic. Very happy about that. I want to pivot to something you kind of touched on very briefly, because it ties to the work I do. You talked about having this critical care protection that you did not know you had, right?
Yeah.
So, talk a little bit about that. What is that, and what did it do for you?
So, with financial protection
Yes.
or insurance, you have all sorts of insurance. You got insurance for your car, for your
Yes.
home, that kind of stuff. I don't know if it's the same in the US, but by law, you have to insure your car. Otherwise, you get fined if
Yes.
you don't drive
In
around
most
without a
U.S.
license.
states, that is the case.
With your personal insurance, I am an expert in three different strands.
Sure.
Income protection, if you are unable to work beyond a year and a half, like I was,
Yes.
you'd now have a regular paycheck coming in.
Great. Great.
So if you've put your policy in place, if your outgoings were 3K and you've put a policy in place, it can cover you till your retirement age.
Fantastic.
So I didn't know that existed. So
Yes.
until I did that, the serious illness that paid out or critical illness is usually like a lump sum
Got it.
payout.
Yes.
Sometimes you can have that configured to pay off your mortgage, or
Sure.
you want a huge lump sum that's enough for you to retire on. And if you can no longer be a builder. So
Yes.
now
Yes.
you've got enough to pay off the mortgage and a bit more to live off and go
Great.
golfing or
Yeah.
whatever the rest of your
Whatever.
life.
Yeah.
The last one is a life insurance policy. So with life insurance in the UK, we always missold or sold policies till age 50,
Yes.
55, 60.
Yes.
Again, I did not know that you could have life insurance policies till age 90
Wow.
or whole of life. So then you're using that life insurance policy as a way of maintaining or even creating generational wealth for those
Yes.
behind you. And yeah, the wealth gap between minorities and others is big and it's getting wider. I mean, I'm choosing my words here.
Yes, no. That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah,
So I would say, that you touch on an important thing, right? Because you've covered a lot of ground, right? So
sorry.
I'll tell you. No, which is great because I'll tell you where it merges with what I do. So, number one, I think most people are unaware of the risks that exist in their
Yeah,
life. It's an everyday risk. It's there, and should this event happen, your life drastically changes forever. So you've experienced one. So for you, this is crystal clear for you and your family, right? Because here you go through this near-death experience. You do survive, but even in survival, there is a lot of financial stress because you survive. Now you've got um this your brain basically trying to come back to where it was. You need to learn how to multiply and add and know who your family members are, remember their names and your friends' names, etc. And obviously during this time you're not working, right? Because if you can't do that basic stuff, you're definitely not working. And then there potentially medical bills and things like that need to be taken care of. So really massive risk if you think in terms of somebody who works or somebody who is maybe the primary breadwinner. Massive risk. Um, so that exists, and then you also have the issue where you could be healthy but some event happens and now you can't work at all, right? Like you mentioned. So that's something people need to take care of. I even deal with, one of the things I work with people on is you could be healthy, have no major life event, but something happens at your company. And now your primary source of income, something that gave you 100% of your income month in, month out for multiple years, is gone.
yeah,
And depending on the country, the industry, um, your age, um, it may be very difficult
mm,
to get that salary again.
yeah,
And that to me, I think, is another huge risk people face and completely unaware, because you go to a financial planner and they do all this modeling typically that assumes you're going to be earning this salary until you're 65.
yeah,
You're going to be getting maybe 3-4% raise every year. Well, what about if that suddenly goes away? What happens? And this to me, I think, is something people need to plan for, because it does happen more frequently than people think. And if you don't plan for it, could be extremely stressful,
yeah,
very devastating, and have a huge impact on your family's life. So, I mean, you and I are working in somewhat the same field, but just different parts of the field.
yeah, yeah,
I think you're working, I would say, in a very, very important part of the field, because the type of insurance you sell, should people need to use it, huge, right? Really huge. So tell me something. What have you seen as maybe the major um deterrents to people buying the type of insurance you're selling? Because I'm sure in your mind you're thinking everyone should have this, right? So what are the major deterrents you run into in terms of people buying this type of insurance?
yeah. I mean, before I answer that question, I'll just mention a bit about the cardiac arrest. The
Yes.
cardiac arrest is predominantly pre- prevalent amongst black males from that originate from Southwest Africa.
Wow, I had no idea of that. In the
So,
UK, right?
sorry,
In the UK, that's the stats. I mean, it could even be here.
in the
No.
UK, and I
Yes.
suspect around the world because there's a heart muscle that gets a bit thicker as you get older
Yeah.
among some of us black men. So
Yeah.
we've seen a lot of footballers or soccer players, as you call them, just
Yeah.
drop
Yeah.
on the pitch. So
Yes.
if you can, you got to do an annual ECG scan.
Mm-hmm.
All my kids now, they get a check
Wow.
just to preempt any
Yes.
genetic
Yes. Yeah.
situation. To your question, I think a lot of it is procrastination.
Uh-huh.
There have been some tragic stories.
I can imagine.
Tragic stories. The, yeah. The guy gets round to eventually agreeing the contract.
Yes.
This is my mentor. He's been talking to the guy.
Yeah.
He gets the call. Oh, the guy did he sign the thing? No. He died.
Oh my goodness. That is a very, very, very tragic and sad story. For sure.
Another
Because had he
one,
just put his big signature on it, right?
that's it. That's it. Or another one, sh- he, that's why we advise if you take any insurance policy that you take, it's got to be something that you feel comfortable with. Because my insurance policies, I maintained it for years, even when I was out of work.
Oh
I
wow.
always maintain it. So if there are other things that you can cut,
Yes.
your Netflix subscription, your Amazon shopping bill,
Yes. 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 Cut
maintain,
those, but maintain
because
your
tomorrow's
insurance.
not promised to anyone.
No, no, no. This is great. I mean, I really think understanding risk, um, managing risk is just something people don't do well.
Yeah.
Um, and I guess people tend to be very optimistic, which being optimistic is good, but
Optimism bias.
clearly, yes, bias
It won't
towards that.
happen to me. It will happen to
Yeah,
someone else.
exactly. But clearly not planning for your family is not wise, right? Because for most of us, if you suddenly pass away, and it could be husband, wife, doesn't matter, there would be a huge emotional impact on your family for sure. And then on top of that, you do not want them to have some type of financial impact on top of that. They'll be dealing with enough. So tell me then, um, what are some of the things you do to get people to sign up, right, and make sure they get insurance? What are some of the avenues you use? I'd love to hear that.
I mean, sometimes I pray. Because
Great, great, great.
some arguments, I'm like,
Prayer has worked a lot for you in the past. That I.
it's like, God forbid, those kind of things. And what we are trying to do is to be a bit more consistent with our messaging.
Yeah,
I think be a bit more consistent with what we're doing on social media, talking to
great.
people,
Yeah,
and hopefully that breaks through. Because in the beginning, I was like, I don't understand. You were part of the fasting and praying group, but you still don't want to do the policy. So I changed my title to be a financial protection evangelist. So
great,
you're
great.
literally not just
Yes.
selling insurance, you're evangelizing.
You imagine? No, no, no. I get it. I get it. No, no. It's very, very good work, and I'm really happy for that. I'm happy that you're persistent, pushing this through. It is clearly something people need, and
Yeah,
with the work I do, one of the things I don't want is to see people not plan for risk. You
yeah,
really have to plan for risk. Regardless of whether or not you think your odds are great or your odds are small, I just think it's wise and prudent to do. And, like you've said, some of your policies that you sell, if you don't, have a life event, they could be used to amass and generate wealth as well. It could be a potential path, but clearly, I think this is something people, absolutely need to do. So this is great. So now, as we wind this down, what mm, a couple
So
of
much more I could
questions.
say.
Yeah, no, no, oh, no, no, no. I know. I mean, we could go on and on. My wife warns me about that because, I get into this topic, I could go for hours. So, so I've learned to. So one question I guess I'd like you to address is, what should people think of, right? People who have no idea of this, because again, we're putting out this podcast. There's some people who've never had a major life event themselves. Maybe they're young, or maybe it's crossed their mind, but they don't know where to go. What would you advise people? Where would you advise people to start when they start thinking about, how do I protect, my family should something happen?
I was just trying to. I think you gotta educate yourself
Yeah.
online. Um, the two guys that I do follow a lot in the US, Lee Jenkins, the stewardship
Yes.
coach.
Lee
Um,
Jenkins. Yes.
I think is an ex football coach, financial
Oh, I see.
advisor, and he
Yeah.
always gives practical advice on financial discipline, not just investments.
Sure.
Financial discipline is something that I had to learn the hard way.
Yeah.
When I was young, I was making money, spending a lot of money on suits and shoes and things. And
Yeah.
now a lot of them I can't wait or the month to finish them.
Got it.
So financial discipline, I believe in financial intelligence. So
Sure.
I'm a Christian. I say 10% to
Yes.
tithe or your charity,
Yes.
10% you pay yourself, paying yourself
Yes.
in investing in
Yes.
a Roth IRA, I think it's called, or stocks and
Yes. In the
shares,
US, yes,
whatever.
it's a
Yeah,
Roth IRA. You could have a Roth
yeah.
401k, etc.
And I think Dave Ramsey advocates 20
Uh
to
huh.
25% to financial protection. I
Yeah.
would say 5 to 10% of your budget. And
Mm-hmm.
you need to budget. You got to track your expenses, a spreadsheet, track
Yes.
your outgoings. And then if you could put about 5 to 10% on your um, financial protection budget, then that's a good start. What was the question again? I went off on a tangent.
No, no, no. I think that was, I was just saying, if somebody didn't know, where would
Yeah,
they start? Where would they start? So I think
yeah,
you've started answering that question. I would even mention here in passing, because I sometimes teach a class at my church, and I just teach for myself anyway. When we raise the aspect of, either you say the word budgeting or financial discipline, a lot of people kind of lock up, right? Because it's a difficult topic for them. I'd say one of the things I've found that has been so helpful, right? Extremely helpful, is actually separating your money into different physical or digital streams. I think the biggest problem many people have is all their money is all jumbled together in one
yeah,
account, and your mortgage is coming out, or your rent is coming out, the car payment is coming out, and Amazon is coming out, Netflix is, all of them from the same account. One of the things my wife and I have started doing, and we've been on this journey for many years, but this one has made the biggest difference, is number one, in terms of timing, the first of the month or whenever you get your paycheck, be very smart about what comes out first, right off the
mm,
top. Be very, very, very smart about that. The most important things that are crucial to you, they need to come out day one or day two at the latest. Because then what that does, it automatically forces savings, because if the money is not there, then it's not going to be spent. And obviously watch credit cards. I mean, if you choose to use them
yeah,
or don't use them, whatever. But the other thing we found that's been even more useful is getting separate bank accounts for our spending. So we
yeah,
recently created a bank account for just the mortgage, right? So that comes out of the account. And what we're going to add to that account, we're in the process of adding other fixed expenses, because then that's a huge chunk of our savings. It could easily be maybe 60, 70%. That's going to be automated. We don't have to look at, and it's not jumbled in with the general spending. So then the general expense spending account is going to be much smaller. It's going to have much fewer items, and those could be tracked, watched, predicted much better than when they're mixed in now with, I don't know, 50, 60 different ins and outs to the account that just makes it so hard to track. So
Yeah,
again,
yeah.
for many people, I think simplicity would help. Certainly don't have one bank account and have all this stuff going on in there. Separate your accounts. You might need to get 2 or 3, but certainly your fixed spending, your fixed payments should be in one account, and then your general spending should be in another. I think it would make the whole budgeting process almost automatic, where you don't have to sweat or lock up or, get fearful when that topic is raised.
Yeah, that's good. Good. And if you're a married couple, be transparent. You've touched on it as well. Because when I had the cardiac arrest, for one, she was scrambling all of my different bank accounts. She didn't know which one
Yes.
was which. Even then, afterwards, she was now telling me which one was which.
Yes. That's another, key and important thing. In fact, one of the things I have done is not only list all the accounts on a sheet of paper, I've also given a good family friend a copy of that sheet as well. Now, he doesn't necessarily know what amounts are in those accounts, but
Yeah.
if something were to happen to me, he would remind Maya, okay, there's that account, go check what's in there. The
Yeah.
life insurance, it's over there, go check what's there. These investments are over here, go check what's there.
Yeah.
So he'll, because you can imagine with an event like even yours wasn't death, yours was just a major health issue that was almost death. Your spouse is now scrambling, won't know what to do. I mean, they're talking to doctors, taking care of the kids.
Yeah.
It'd be good for some place or someone who exists who says, hey, here's where I can provide help. So I think that's useful as well.
Yeah.
Wow. I can't believe how much time we've spent, right? We've
How
just
much
gone
did
on
we spend?
and on.
What time did we start?
Oh, we're about 40 minutes into this, believe it or
Oh.
not. Time flies when you're having fun. This is a dangerous conversation for you and I to have, because if we didn't watch the clock, we'll probably go on for a couple of hours. So as we wrap this up here, Bolaji, if people wanted to contact you or learn more about what you do, how could they do that?
I'm on LinkedIn, Bolaji Yoloye. I'm on LinkedIn. On Iyanu Financial Services.
Okay.
.co.uk.
Yes.
So heavy on LinkedIn and Iyanu Financial Services.co.uk.
Fantastic. We will put those in the show notes. So when people click on my webpage or get to the podcast, they'll be able to contact you. This has been great.
Thank you
very, very much. As you can tell, I could have gone on and on and on and on and on with this, but thank you for sharing your story. I am so happy that not only did you survive this massive event, but that it's turned your life around.
Yeah.
And now you are now trying to help people.
Yeah.
Make sure they understand the risks they're facing, and should something happen, their families would be okay. Thank you very much. Have a great day.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Cheers.
Thank you for listening to this episode. To stay connected, be sure to visit yourforevermoney.com, where you can subscribe to a free quarterly newsletter or join a paid monthly newsletter for deeper insights and a closer look at how we evaluate and make investment decisions each month.